Hi, everyone. I'm Dylan Stafford, and with me today is Jatin Kumar, a recent graduate of UCLA Anderson. Um, Jatin works in high tech. He's a senior program manager and leader at a very well-known firm, if you look him up on LinkedIn. And as a recent alum, so he just earned his degree from UCLA Anderson. And I guess he just likes education. He took an additional course. He did the Being a Leader in the Effective Exercise of Leadership course a couple months after he graduated. So Jatin, thanks for taking some time on a Friday afternoon. You're in Denver? No, where are you?
I am in Phoenix.
Oh, in Phoenix. Okay. I knew it was
Phoenix. Yeah,
okay.
and pleasure to be here. Thank you, Dylan.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for taking the time. So just a couple of questions. So why did you choose to do the Being a Leader in the Effective Exercise of Leadership course?
There are, I think, a couple of couple of reasons. The first reason was I went back to school after 7 or probably 8 to 10 years of my grad school. Went back to school and my goal was to kind of improve my leadership along with getting the business skills. And now, when I was graduating, Anderson had that leadership kind of week, in the beginning, but there was nothing to kind of stitch it together at the end. So I was looking for that experience. Hey, I end my degree with that leadership experience at the end. So I think this course gave me that opportunity. I just had graduated. I said, hey, it'll be good for me to kind of, add a little bit nudge to my leadership. That was one reason. And second is I think I was looking, as there are so many books out for leadership. Some are asking to follow certain leaders, right? Satya Nadella, Steve Jobs, or, Jeff Bezos, people name it, right? And I think my mind was very crowded. I was like, hey, do I apply here? Do I apply here? What type of leaders I follow? And I think I was looking for kind of right education for leadership, which I think I got from this one. It's not a framework based, or it's not like, hey, you have to follow certain leaders, or this is how leadership look like. I think it is just you find your own leadership. You kind of do your own introspection. I think that's a big difference I found in this kind of leadership course that I took.
Excellent. So I hear two things. As a person coming to the end of his leadership journey, his MBA journey with a commitment to leadership, you were able to stitch together the opening Leadership Foundation week at the start of your MBA. 3 years later, some time to reflect. So I hear that. So the timing was right as a new alum to really. Okay. And then kind of a right, or I don't want to use the right too much, but a view on leadership that we would, in the course, we would use the phrase as a natural self-expression.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not going to be Steve Jobs. I'm not going to be Jeff Bezos. I'm going to be Jatin Kumar.
That is correct. Yeah, who I am, right? What is my leadership? Discover that. And I think when you say natural expression, when I read the details about the coursework, right, and I said, hey, this is right. This is about who I am, and discover that part, not like follow somebody else. That attracted me towards this course.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And for people considering the course, there's a conversation about what we discover, we get to keep. So it's that thing. People can tell me, Dylan, you want to have 6-pack abs? Eat your broccoli and do sit-ups. I have the information.
Yeah.
but I promise you, I have a 1-pack. I do not have a 6-pack. So, but when I discover for myself, what's Dylan's voice? What does leadership look like for Dylan? When I discover something, then I get to own it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You said much better than I did, Dylan, for sure.
Well, okay, thank you. So next question. So as you were doing the course, what were you, what did you get out of the course, like during the time of the course?
So I'll be very candid here. I think first, um, first, I think 2 to 3 weeks were very technical. I was struggling because the language they used in the course was highly technical language, and I was just like, where are we gonna go with this one, right? But it's like a curtain slowly opening, right? And the stage opens in front of you. So I think this course is like that. You start slowly, you say, what is going on? It looks fuzzy. What is the language they're using? And somebody is coming from very business and technical background, right? Having this ontological framework or language can be challenging sometimes, right? I'm not from that type of background, but as I continue to push myself, I could see, like, okay, here it is, here it applies, here I use it to discover myself. So learn, I think, to get to your answer, like, first of all, I demystified the concept that I have to be like someone else. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't have to read books on great leaders. Of course people can do that, there's some learning there, but I don't have to read and follow them, right?
Mm.
So it gave me, like, it gave me kind of a framework, right? Says, hey, to discover myself, right? They talk about, I am here, you are there. It's like, that type of stuff. And then, they give you basics of every leadership that has it. Like integrity is one of the thing. And then they give you like, this cube, which, every corner has, few elements of how, leadership work. And you take that kind of each aspect of that cube and apply on yourself, and you start to discover yourself.
Mm.
That is the biggest thing, right? It's about taking that thing, that taking different elements of it, apply on yourself, and start to discover yourself. And I think by the end of this course, I discovered myself, who I am, what is my journey going to look like. So that is the big outcome of this course.
Okay, that's kind of a big last sentence. So tell me, what was that? I mean, you just said I discovered who I am. What was that experience?
So yeah, to be specific, right? Lately, 2 or 3 things, right? I was always, over the years, be it some of, sometimes, some my life, I followed, like, few events happened in my life, that kind of put me in a situation where I started to think about it, like, hey, um, for example, like, my life is full of struggle, right? Or, there's a lot of self-talk, I started to do with myself. Okay. And some of this self-negative talks, right? So I think in one of the week, we spend a lot of time, like, is like, and I exactly followed the words or sentence they use, but it's about, like, you listening to yourself all the time, right?
Yeah.
You are, you were, early in your life, you've had some incidents that, happened to you, probably out of your control, and you are kind of, you're self listening to yourself with that incident that have changed your behavior. Okay. So I think I was kind of listening to those things, and I was like, I started realizing I'm over listening,
Hmm.
certain things happened in my life, and I discovered, it's a very destructive kind of thinking. It's not the right thinking. And another thing is, like, not only about myself, there's another chapter, we talked about, like, hey, when I'm talking to others, right? um, I am always, talking to others, with, again, some listening to myself, right? Hey, this is how this person behaves, right? This is how my assumption is about that person.
Hmm.
So when you start going into these things, it's you start discovering more about yourself, how you engage, with others, how you engage with the world. And another very important, I think, I don't want to put the whole course out for people just to hear, but another thing that was very kind of phenomenal for me was like, is about like, that you take your past to the future and you act about that in present, right? Past is past. So you set your future, right? And try to act about that today, right? As if I want to be, let's say, a doctor, right? So then I set, see the future as a doctor, right? And then start to act today based on that, instead of like, I see that, hey, I'm a business and a technical person, then I just create a future, based on my past. And that past I created because I was just selflessly to myself. I think I talked too much, but that was my discovery.
I appreciate it. Sorry, my chime went off. So the course started a little slowly for you. There is a lot of technical language. There are specialized terms, carefully crafted statements, networked together.
Yeah.
That unfold. And you said, I like the image of a curtain coming back and revealing what was on the stage. So, and as the course completed, you saw some things about yourself.
Yeah.
Some stories that I've told myself, maybe some negative.
Yeah.
That as a leader who's, leadership exists in the domain of, the temporal sphere of the future.
Yes.
So leadership is about using language such that people see a future that they want to participate to.
Yeah.
And that it's aiming at that future. You use the doctor example that gives me my being and my acting in the present.
Yes. Yep.
And that discovering of ourselves, there's a freedom to be and a freedom to act as we take some time to reflect on all that. And you said in your first answer, wow, I've just spent 3 years and a lot of time and money to both get the technical business school education, but also there's, in this course, we talk about leadership begins with leading oneself.
Yes.
So to discover myself newly and to expand my capacity at the end of, I've got the credibility and the confidence of the MBA and the piece of paper.
Piece of paper. Yeah.
I can put it on LinkedIn, and that's all to the good. And what about me, the human being, and my own confidence to step into, again, not Jeff Bezos, his shoes, or Steve Jobs' shoes, but Jatin's shoes or Dylan's shoes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That was well said about the course. So last question is, and it's only been 3 months, but you got a big career, you're working hard. So what are you seeing since the completion of the course in terms of impact of the course in your career, in your life?
I think one is, as I mentioned, I started to reduce the self-talking, negative self-talking, about myself, about others as well, right? As you said, it's a created future, and being present and act today for that created future, and the created future, has to be good for others as well, right? Who are participating. So it means you have to take them along with you, or you have to see the created future that benefits them. So I think, it means that it's important for me that I'm not only behaving right to myself, but about others as well. So I think I'm changing that paradigm. I'm about people that I thought differently, about. So I changed that. So I think I don't take this that, hey, leadership, this is just done, right? I am still kind of taking pieces of it and try to apply it. And sometimes I forgot a lot of concepts. So I have, this 700-800 pages of,
yeah, it's a big text
PDF file. I open it, on few days. I read through those chapters again, the things I've opened, then I go back and apply in my, in my life. So it's a journey. I think I'll say it's not like, hey, it's not like a light that turned on, yes, during that, few weeks, it was some like, oh my God, this is how it is, right? There was some wow moments, a lot of emotional moments, but then I think after that, when the course ended, I think now I am like, there are already some changes happened in my life, as I mentioned, about view about myself, view about the world. And I have created a future for myself, right? And I'm trying to act accordingly for that future. And now also I think it's a journey for me. I go back to those course slides and those course notes, and I read them and bring those pieces, I think, in my life again and again. And I think it's will be like that for forever.
Thank you. So not like one light bulb went off and everything is fixed, but rather there were some light bulbs,
Some light bulbs, but
and there's a journey.
there's a journey. Yeah.
There's a journey, and then you said that you created a future for yourself. Could you say a little more about what you created?
Yes. As I said, like, because of, my past, right? I was doing a lot of negative talks about my life, like, hey, no, I think I cannot reach there in my professional life.
Okay.
I cannot become that person, or not person. I cannot become self, in that position. So I think with that type of thoughts, I gave up on some of my kind of dreams. I was like, hey, I'm too late now to go after those dreams. So now that I've created that future, which is like, I want to go and sometime lead a leadership position in a technology. I'm part of technology company, but I want to be at a leadership position, right? And a good position. And there was a lot of negative talk, like, it's so difficult, there's so much politics, I'm probably late, people maybe already, like, he's on that becoming the leader path, they are probably start doing in the age of 20s. I'm already 40 years old, I cannot be like that. So there was a lot of talk like that. Okay.
I'm
So
50. I'm 50. You got
right?
lots of.
Yeah.
I'm 50. You got lots of time.
So I have removed those kind of self-inflicted barriers.
Yes.
Okay. I have removed them, and I have now created a future, and I am like, through those, either going back to those course notes or whatever I remember, apply those things to achieve my future, the created future.
And yeah, thank you. And I'm sorry I interrupted you. But it's,
Oh.
the distinction of already, always listening that we use in the course to look at, we say things to ourselves, and we already say it and we always say it. And then we don't notice that we already always say it. And it can be, oh, I'm too young, I don't have enough experience yet. And then it can be, oh, I'm too old, I already missed the moment. And what we do in the course is distinguish that and get that past in the past, such that there's a wide open future.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because if we try to create a future on top of some of these things that we're telling ourselves, it's like icing on a mud pie.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well said. Yep.
So the work of the course is to, it is 700 pages. It's a big textbook or slide deck textbook, but to do the work. And you said, I did the course the way the course was designed, and it's rigorous. And what's on the other side of that is a freedom to be and a freedom to act.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That I can create the next chapter. I'm going to be a leader in a technology company.
Yes.
And I'm 40, and I'm not too young, and I'm not too old. I'm exactly where I need to be. And I have the full facility to engage with the people and the companies and the industry and the space that this is my world, and there's an expanded freedom in that world.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I am just using some of the language that we use in the course, because, the promise of the course is that if you do the course the way the course is designed, you will be being a leader and exercising leadership effectively as your natural self-expression. That's the one and only goal of the course, is to provide access, not to read a list of the attributes that made Jeff Bezos, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
That's a different approach. And like you said, useful and available. We always want to inform ourselves of best practices. And when it's time for me to walk in the room and it's just me and Jeff Bezos is not there.
Yeah. And it's so, as you mentioned, right, I want to share another example, if I may.
Please.
Like, last week I was playing, I play volleyball, like, on Fridays with my friends. So I was playing volleyball and we had the same chat, like, one of this Indian guy, at the age of 37, became a CEO of Twitter, right? So some of his seniors to him, classmates, play volleyball with me. And they were just saying, man, he's got so lucky. He was at the right place at the right moment, all that kind of, self-defeating talk, right? And same thing, right? They were saying, hey, if you want to be a CEO, this is the path, the way the path they got. So I kind of objected. I said, hey, no, if you want to be CEO, you have to create that, great future for yourself. And you have to see how you need to act today, right, for that future. And your path may be different. It's not the same path. He took that path. Your path may be different. He probably became at 37, but your path may be at 50 plus, right? Who knows? So you have to create your path. So I think this is the kind of discussion, or this is kind of the language I could talk because I took this course.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. And how did they respond?
Well, you are too naive. Some people said that.
Yeah. So notice, like, that's the icing on the mud pie, right? And that's the work that we each have to do. I mean, before anybody will follow us, we have to be willing to follow ourselves.
Yeah.
So you're doing the first step, which is creating it for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And okay. And we all have to start somewhere. And leadership, it is a lifelong journey.
Yes, it is a lifelong journey. Yep.
Yeah. So you didn't get magic dust that you sprinkle on your friends and now they're all
No.
It's a lot more work than that.
Yep. Well said. Yep, exactly.
Okay. Well, this is the time I asked for. Thank you so much. 1 or 2 minutes, anything else you would want to add to anybody, a MBA student thinking, oh, would this be a useful course? Any last thought?
No, I think one thing I can share with the prospective MBA students, or who are current MBA students, like that I have like now 13, 14 years of experience at high tech companies. I went back to school to get my second graduate degree. And I think it's important, like, you get this technical skills of marketing and finance and all stuff. But I think what, and when you go join any company industry, what will differentiate is not how much you know about finance and marketing. What will differentiate you from others is going to be, your leadership. So, that is the factor. And I think that is a factor that differentiates you from any level, right? From the bottom level to the CEO, right? So I think that's my kind of recommendation, that, take this course as an investment in you for lifelong, because other things you may not use it, I don't use finance in my day-to-day life. I'm not selling products, doing sales and marketing, right? But what I'm using daily is how I act, how I think about myself, how I interact with others, and how I create a future for myself. So that I use every day.
Thank you. That was well said. Okay. Thank you. Well, everyone, is Jatin Kumar, recent graduate of Anderson, person who completed the Being a Leader course. And Jatin, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Dylan, for having me here. Thank you.